Have you ever had that big win and somehow ended up losing even more in the weeks that followed? Yeah, there's a reason for that because when it comes to gambling, any win is basically a future loss waiting to happen. And it's not because you're weak or stupid, but because that win flips a switch in your brain that makes stopping feel damn near impossible. I'm Joe, and I was gambling every day for years, easily 50 bets a day. My last bet was 416.24, and now I'm here to tell the truth about this addiction and help you get out of the same loop I was in. And in this video, I want to break down exactly how every win sets you up for a loss, not just financially, but with your time, your focus, your confidence, and your ability to feel anything real anymore. Because once you actually see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Let's start with something nobody likes saying out loud. You're not chasing money, you're chasing a feeling. A win smacks your brain with a dopamine hit so big it drowns out any form of logic. Your brain goes, oh, that's how we fix our stress. Let's do that again. So the win doesn't actually end the cycle, it just restarts it. It actually hits the gas and rips the brakes right out. That's why the whole I'll stop when I'm ahead thing has never worked for anyone in the history of gambling. You're not stopping, you're just gearing up for the next round. But the money isn't even the first thing that gambling takes. Let's talk about what actually disappears first: your time and your ability to focus. A win gives you that fake sense of pressure releasing, like your chest just opens up and your brain finally shuts up for a second. You think, okay, I'm good. I'll play a little bit more and then get on with my day. And for a moment, that actually feels real, but here's the actual truth. A win doesn't give you your time back, it steals it. And it doesn't clear your head, it locks it onto gambling. The moment you see your balance jump, your brain wakes up like, all right, we're back, let's go. You're not actually winding down, you're winding the hell up. Minutes vanish, hours vanish. You keep telling yourself one more like that's ever been true. And then you catch yourself replaying a show over because you didn't absorb a single second of it, or sitting across from someone you care about and realize you didn't hear anything that they said, or even rereading the same sentence 5 times because your brain is already on tomorrow's bets. Even when you're not gambling, you're gambling in your head. You go from living your life to living in your thoughts, and eventually people start to notice. Evenings you got planned, gone. Plans you made, canceled. Days start blending together and your world shrinks down to one thing: the next bet. You start to feel distant, your work slips, your motivation dies, and life keeps happening around you and you're not a part of any of it. The win gives you a rush for 5 seconds, but then it steals all the hours you could have spent building a life that actually meant something. And the real win, the one gambling never gives you, is when your time and your focus actually belong to you again. Moreover, gambling takes something deeper. It takes your confidence and your self-respect. Again, a win feels like proof you're smart, that you've figured it out. Maybe you're finally turning things around and you get a little hit of dignity back for like 5 minutes. But here's the truth no one tells you: wins destroy your self-respect more than losses do at times. Because every win comes with promises. I'll just play a little bit more, I'll withdraw soon, I'll be smart this time, and almost every time you break those promises. Not because you're weak, but because your brain sees a win and goes, oh, we're good again. Let's push it. Let's go all in. So you end up playing longer than you meant to. You raise the stakes and you give back everything you swore you'd protect. And afterwards, that heavy, familiar shame hits you again. Why'd I do that? What's wrong with me? Every broken promise becomes a crack in how you see yourself. And eventually you stop trusting your own word. You stop believing your own decisions. You stop seeing yourself as someone who can actually follow through. And you start thinking this is just who you are now. And that right there, that's the real loss. Not the money, but the identity shift. That slow erosion of who you thought you were. Now, the real win is when you start stacking small promises together, like deleting the app, not reinstalling it, sitting through an urge instead of escaping it, telling the truth instead of hiding. That's the kind of confidence gambling will never give you. And then gambling takes something even more painful: your ability to feel joy. A win tricks you. It makes you think, now I can relax, now I can enjoy my life, now I can be fun again, and you imagine some better version of yourself. But a win doesn't unlock joy, it just numbs it. And once your brain gets hooked on that dopamine spike, normal feels flat. Quiet nights feel boring, the music stops hitting, food tastes like nothing, conversations feel distant. Things you used to care about lose their spark. And instead of enjoying anything, your mind drifts right back to gambling. Not because you're trying to escape, but because nothing else makes you feel anything. Your world shrinks and you stop showing up, or you show up, but you're not really there. You disconnect from people not because you don't care about them, but because gambling became the center of your universe. You're physically present, but emotionally gone. And that's the future loss nobody warns you about, the loss of your connection to life itself. Another win is when that joy comes back in those small moments, when someone makes you laugh and it actually feels real, or you enjoy a night without checking odds, or when a hobby or a conversation or a walk actually feels good again. Because let's be real, you spent most of your life not gambling and you enjoyed every minute of it. And the last thing gambling takes, that deepest cut, is ultimately your peace. A win makes you think everything is finally okay. It gives you this fake sense of relief, like this chaos is just finally over, but it's not peace, it's just borrowed time. Because the second that relief hits, your brain starts planning the next chase. And instead of peace, you get pressure. Instead of calm, you get anxiety. Instead of stability, you get short lived relief wrapped in long term chaos. When you're up, you don't even really enjoy it. You're paranoid. You're waiting for the inevitable collapse because you've been here before. You know how it ends. And when the balance starts to drop even just a little bit, your whole nervous system goes into panic mode and you stop sleeping well. And you wake up with that knot in your stomach. You start hiding things. You move money around. You delete your browser history. You lie. You pretend. You're managing fires 24/7. And your emotions whip around with every bet, every number, every second. You stop feeling safe inside your own life because the win doesn't calm you, it actually destabilizes you. The real win with all of that is waking up without the anxiety and not needing to hide anything, not living in this constant fear and stress, and ultimately starting to feel steady again or feeling safe. Because when you zoom out and look at all of it, the time, the focus, the confidence, the joy, the connection, the peace, you finally see the truth. Any win is just a future loss. And here's what I want you to walk away with. You're not broken. You're not weak. Your brain was responding to something engineered to hook you. But now you're here and you're watching this, and hopefully you're starting to see the pattern. And that's where real change begins. Because once you understand the cycle, you stop being trapped inside it. You notice urges instead of automatically acting on them. You start reclaiming pieces of yourself, like your time, your focus, your dignity, and your peace. And all those small wins, they stack and they rebuild your life. And here's the last thing I'll say. Awareness is powerful, but it's not enough by itself. Knowing that any win becomes a future loss is only step one.